Coming up next on Middle Tennessee News, the victim of a Murfreesboro house fire has been identified.
And Vice President Pence says the U.S. is going to the moon.
And we have Trenton Gray in studio who's going to give us the latest rundown on MT baseball.
All those stories, plus your latest weather. Middle Tennessee News starts right now.
I'm Eric Woolworth.
And I'm Kristen Allen. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News. Just
a quick, some breaking news. The Middle Tennessee Police Department released a statement about a recent string of burglaries involving a crowbar. When we have more information on that, we will let you know.
But first, a follow-up on a story we brought to you yesterday. The name of the deceased in a Kirkwood Avenue house fire Monday night has been released. 81-year-old Jack Forrest was still in the home when the house went up in flames. The 911 caller told the dispatcher they believed someone was still in the home. According to Murfreesboro Fire Department, firefighters entered the building, but due to intense smoke and heat, they were unable to get to Mr. Forrest. The 3 surviving victims of that house fire were left homeless and are being helped by the American Red Cross.
Vice President Mike Pence says the U.S. plans to put astronauts back on the moon in the next 5 years. He made the announcement at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, Tuesday.
On the President's behalf, to tell the men and women of the Marshall Space Flight Center and the American people that at the direction of the President of the United States, it is the stated policy of this administration and the United States of America to return American astronauts to the moon within the next 5 years.
The announcement moves the original moon landing plans forward by 4 years. NASA has been facing delays developing the next moon rocket called SLS. But Pence pointed to Russia's and China's advancements in space, and he suggested that the administration open to turning to private companies instead of NASA.
A silver alert has been canceled after a Murfreesboro woman was found safe. The Murfreesboro Police Department issued a silver alert for 66-year-old Amy Pearl Hickerson, whom walked away from her family on Old Fort Boulevard yesterday evening. Hickerson's family was concerned because she suffers from dementia. The alert was canceled this morning after she was found safe. According to Murfreesboro Police Department, silver alerts are issued after citizens are reported missing and may have extreme health problems.
It's voting time again here at MTSU. The Student Government Association has sent out voting information for the upcoming election. Voting will begin on April 9th at 10 a.m. and will conclude on April 11th. Excuse me. If you are interested in voting, go to mtsu.edu/mymt and click Vote Now. Since only about 4% of the student body voted in last year's election, SGA hopes more competitors means a higher voter turnout. Students running for positions will be campaigning in the Student Union building and across campus for the next few weeks leading up to the election. Kristen, I know it's been feeling pretty nice lately. I've been enjoying the weather, and I think even you mentioned you've been enjoying it.
Yes, I love this warm weather. Outside, the sun shining on me just makes me so happy. So, Cherilyn, we need to know if that feeling's going to stay around.
You know what, Kristen and Eric, it's a beautiful day outside. It definitely feels a lot like spring, more than it did last week, actually. If you look at the weather right now, it is very sunny outside, not very many clouds, with a high of 64, and the humidity levels are at a 41%. So I would say it's pretty warm out there, and the wind levels isn't going too quickly. It's only 3 miles per hour. So it is definitely a beautiful day outside. And if you're looking for things to do outside today, you can definitely study right in front of the library. If you want to take a bike ride, maybe catch a picnic. Any of those things sound really good for today and really the rest of the week. But right back to you, Eric and Kristen.
Well, thank you, Cherilyn. Coming up next on Middle Tennessee News, we're going to take a look at the rest of the week's weather.
And Trenton Gray will be in studio to give us the latest update on MT baseball. That's coming up next on Middle Tennessee News.
Sculpting the perfect body takes time. Quitting smoking does too. But with a little help, you can do it. Get the resources and support you need to quit smoking from the American Cancer Society at cancer.org/smokeout.
Hannah is bright, talented, and she's been so brave. Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. Within a few days, Hannah was in treatment because we were told that the tumor was very aggressive. So we've essentially put our lives in South Africa on hold. Incredibly blessed to be here. St. Jude is an asset to the world. The research that is developed here is offered freely to the rest of the medical world. The entire way that the place operates is just to give and to care. I think it's the kind of place that not only stands as a beacon for pediatric cancer, but I think it could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people. And I think if those lessons could be learned, even in their most basic form, this world could be a better place.
Repeat after me. Apple, table, penny.
Apple, bread.
I remember watching Dad with the kids and thinking, geez, in 6 years, will he even know who they are?
Ask me again.
1 in 10 Americans over 65 has Alzheimer's disease. Learn more today at brightfocus.org.
What does it look like when a life is truly changed?
I feel a sense of accomplishment because I built a house. This house has brought us financial independence.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Is a Pop-Tart a ravioli? What is ASMR? These are topics that one student's Run television show takes very seriously. Well, sorta. Reporter Megan Cole takes us behind the scenes of The Turn.
The director and co-creator, Shelby Stewart, created the show just for fun. The Turn, a late-night improv comedy show at MTSU, turns the tables on topics in pop culture.
Just a little tough for my teeth.
The Turn was started in my Multi-Camera 1 class last semester, and we liked it so much that we kept doing it as projects went on throughout the semester. And eventually my friends Jonas and Eric, who are on the show, convinced me to make it an actual MT10 show. I think the best moment kind of happens every time we shoot, and that's when something I've planned ends up turning out better than I thought it would.
Stewart edits each episode and has created social media platforms for the show. She dreams of directing larger projects for her future career.
The good thing about The Turn is because it's so absurd, really nothing can go wrong. And if something does go wrong, we just kind of chalk it up to that being intentional. So if mics are cut or if we have a weird shot, if anything like that happens, we just go with it, and honestly, it makes it funnier.
From start to finish, Stewart said that each episode is nearly 70% improv.
I think The Turn is teaching me leadership skills. This is my first big project where I am pretty much the sole leader along with my producer, Emily. She helps me a lot, but I'm really the one in charge, and it's giving me a lot of experience in leading a group of people and motivating people and also meeting deadlines, which is something I aspire to do as a film director and writer in the future.
Of our MTN reporters. For more information to see The Turn in action, visit The Turn MT10 on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
An organization that gives back was just voted best nonprofit in Wilson County by Lebanon Publishing Reader's Choice. Sherry's Run is a nonprofit organization that helps financial and emotional support to families affected with cancer. The organization hosts community walks and runs to raise money for those battling cancer and their families. Last year, they were able to assist a total of 209 families. The organization was also voted Best Event Outdoor and Recreation in Wilson County. Sherry's Run thanked their community for the award on Twitter.
Elijah Campbell flunked out of Tennessee Tech, and he faced a lifetime of minimum wage jobs. He bounced between small towns and work out of college that he could get. Then late one night, he inspired to pursue more. Calvin Smith shows us why Elijah Campbell is making a comeback at MTSU.
Getting an email one day after your third semester when your GPA is below 1 from the university saying you can't come back.
Elijah Campbell made some mistakes at Tennessee Tech in his first college stint. A combination of hating his major, exercise science, and a little too much partying made him leave school.
Well, when I first got that email from Tech, I called my dad and told him about it. And we haven't spoken in a while too. Our relationship wasn't the best, and we talked about it. And he's like, well, if you want, you can come up here to Jamestown and live with me. And I went up there, and he helped me get a job as a substitute teacher in the Fentress County school system.
After working a few odd jobs, Elijah realized he wanted more from his life.
There was one time where I'm working security. I'm sitting in my car. I was doing an overnight shift, midnight to 8 a.m., sitting in front of a building. Incredibly boring, awful hours. And I thought, man, this sucks. I don't want to do this the rest of my life. And I was listening in my car. I was listening to ESPN radio. And I thought, man, how much more fun would it be to sit in the studio right now and talk about sports and getting paid for it. So I applied to MTSU because I knew they had a solid program.
Then he went to work in student media to start his career. It all began with a sports show called NSEN.
I started off doing debate segments, and they were awful. It got me really, more immersed in the sports media, and it got me more, sure that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
After taking the next step and getting an internship with ESPN Radio in Nashville, he heard from his boss one morning.
I got an email from Ryan saying, is there any day this weekend, specifically either Friday or Saturday, you can come in for an interview? And I was like, yes. In less than a minute, I think I responded. It was like, yes, I can do Friday, whatever time you want to do. So I even skipped class to, he's like, is 11:30 work? 11:30 didn't work because I had class, but I was like, no, I'm not going to miss this interview.
In January, it all came to fruition when he got the job he'd thought about in his car just a few years earlier.
It really is a dream come true.
For Middle Tennessee News, I'm Calvin Smith.
Elijah is set to graduate in December and is confident he will find a full-time job with his experience.
Well, the Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Team is adding 25 new trainees. The 25 trainees will begin boot camp on April 8th and will graduate rookie school on June 14th. The department is using part of their $2.8 million federal grant to hire the newest members of their team. The Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response, or SAFER grant, was given to the department last year in hopes to reach the minimum staffing standard.
Trying to get us up to where we need to be for minimum staffing requirements that are required by the National Fire Protection Association.
This is the largest group the department has seen in nearly 3 decades.
Still ahead on Middle Tennessee News, Chairlyn Miller will be back with our full look at weather.
And Trenton Gray is going to join us from the MT Sports Den. Stay with us.
Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. For our forests, our rivers, our oceans, our wildlife, and for our climate. For our Earth. Earth Hour, March 30th, 2019.
Your zip code. Just one number different and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people each year in the U.S. alone. That's unacceptable. That's why by 2026, Susan G. Komen will cut the number of breast cancer deaths in half. We'll get there by helping those who can't pay for treatments, by funding breakthroughs in research that save lives, by ensuring that all people receive the care they need. We'll get there, but only with your help. So, are you in?
My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Now let's go ahead and start looking at the current weather. All right, so currently we are seeing sunny with a high of 64, humidity levels at a 41%. The wind is 3 miles per hour. Like I was saying earlier, it is still sunny and will be sunny for the rest of the day. Let's go ahead and look at tonight's forecast. Tonight, it will still be clear with a low of 43, humidity levels at 41%, with the wind levels of 3 miles per hour. So today will be a pretty great day, but let's go ahead and look at the 5-day forecast. All right, so for Wednesday, as you can see today, we see a high of 64, low of 43. And then tomorrow, you will see even better temperatures with a high of 70, low of 50. And then looking into Friday, we do see some showers with a high of 69, low of 64. Then Saturday, as you can see, there's actually possibility for thunder. And it's going to be a pretty rainy weekend, as you can tell, with a high of 67, low of 37, and then Sunday you will see a sunny day. So we will also see a high of 54, low of 31. Temperatures won't be that great, but we will be looking at a rainy weekend. But Sunday you should start seeing it clear up. So now tossing it right back to the desk.
Still ahead on Middle Tennessee News, Trenton Gray will be at the MTN Sports Den to give us our latest update. Stay tuned.
Turn off your lights for Earth Hour. For our forests, our rivers, our oceans, our wildlife, and for our climate. For our Earth. Earth Hour, March 30th, 2019.
Your zip code. Just one number different, and you might have a whole other life. Different school, different job, different dreams, different problems. In America, the zip code you're born in can determine your future. The Y works to change that, with programs and services that help everyone thrive, no matter who you are or where you're from. For a better us, support your local Y today.
Breast cancer kills more than 41,000 people each year in the U.S. alone. That's unacceptable. That's why by 2026, Susan G. Komen will cut the number of breast cancer deaths in half. We'll get there by helping those who can't pay for treatments, by funding breakthroughs in research that save lives, by ensuring that all people receive the care they need. We'll get there, but only with your help. So, are you in?
My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Well, Eric, how's your NCAA bracket looking?
It's not going so hot. I started off all decent, but things have quickly fallen apart. Trenton, how's your bracket doing, man?
You know, every year I feel like this just ain't my year. I'm not going to get a perfect bracket, but this year I felt like I had a chance to get a perfect bracket, but you know, it doesn't look like it. But going on to the MTSU Blue Raiders baseball team, they played Louisiana Tech over the weekend. They lost the first game 5-1. Saturday they looked to tie the series. In the second inning, Miles Christian breaks the slump, gets a triple. You see there runs the bases. In the next at bat, Darryl Freeman Jr. knocks him home. That'll be a first run on the board for the MTSU Blue Raiders. In the fourth inning, Peyton Wigginton, sorry about that. Peyton Wigginton had a great game, had a second complete game of the season, and only allows one run. Play of the day, right here. JT Mabry makes the incredible snag in the LA Tech dugout. Blue Raiders win 4-1. The Blue Raiders were going to lose the series. They dropped the third game against LA Tech 10-5. Last night, the Blue Raiders played at Austin Peay. They lost that one 3-10. MTSU softball has a game tonight. They travel to Nashville to take on TSU softball team. MTSU softball team is on a 3-game winning streak coming into this game. TSU has a streak of their own going on. They now have a 6-game losing streak. MTSU looks for their 19th win on the season tonight in Nashville. We've got some high school baseball going on tonight. Blackman has been averaging almost 10 runs a game. They take on Stewart's Creek tonight. Their series is 1-1 going into the third game. 9-3, Riverdale played Siegel tonight. Riverdale looks to sweep the series 3-0. Some years I don't feel too good doing my bracket, as I said before, but this year I thought I really had a chance to get a perfect bracket. Let's look at my bracket. In the top of the East region, I'm not doing too bad. In the bottom, though, that's where the struggle comes in. Louisville, I thought they had a chance to make it to the Elite Eight, but they just didn't have it in them. In the West region, I didn't do too bad in there either. I had Murray State and Florida going too far. Other than that, not too bad. In the South, much of the same. Purdue surprised me. I didn't expect them to do as good as they've done. Villanova, I expected them to go to Sweet 16, but Purdue looks scary good right now. Tennessee and Oregon meet in the Elite Eight. I expect Tennessee to meet Oregon in the Elite Eight. In the Midwest, I only have one thing wrong, but at the end of the day, I expect the Final Four to be Duke, Tennessee, UNC, and North Carolina. Well, I said North Carolina already, but you get the point. Texas Tech as well. And now back to the anchors way over there somewhere.
Thank you for that, Trenton. Well, we thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Kristen Allen.
And I'm Eric Worth. If you missed this or any of our shows, you can watch them on our website, MiddleTennesseeNews.net. We'll see you tomorrow.